What's up, y'all, and welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be going over the top 5 things that every waterfowler needs to do this off season, and we're getting started right now. The number one thing that I think every waterfowler needs to do during the off season is to adopt what I call the NESS method. N-E-S-S. Never ever stop scouting. And that is a big deal, guys. Everything that's going to determine your success for the next duck season and seasons in the future is your scouting. Just because season's over doesn't mean anything. If you are planning a trip for this upcoming season, or if you're just planning on hunting your local marshes and the places that you normally hunt, get out there and keep scouting. Watch the birds. Watch where they're going. Look at what's out there to eat. Everything. These places change every year, whether it be from drought, like lack of rain, maybe your local state and wildlife department, maybe they planted it this year, or maybe they didn't last year. You never know. These things change every year. So never ever stop scouting. That's a big one. That determines your success right there. The more effort you put into scouting, the better off your season will be. Number 2 is wader storage. I know I'm bad about it. I have been in the past, but I've gotten a lot better. Duck season's over. You got your waders thrown over in a corner in your garage or in your shed or your storage place, wherever it is you store your waterfowl equipment. Or maybe they just wadded up and zipped up inside a wader bag. Guys, get those things out and hang them up. If they're muddy, take a water hose and spray them off. Mud is the worst thing for a wader, so that be left on there. It's bad for it. Wash that stuff off. Hang those waders up the way they need to be stored. Hang them up by the boots. Let them dry out, air out, all that kind of stuff. It's just going to save your waders. Not to mention, not only that, this upcoming season, when it comes time for teal season or your next duck season, you know where everything's at. It's put up, it's stored properly, and it's in good shape. It hasn't been stepped on or other things piled on top of it during the summer, the spring and summer and early fall. You know where everything is, and it's in good shape, and it's ready to go for this upcoming season. I use a wader storage rack. I picked it up off of Amazon. If you don't have one and maybe you'd like to get one, they're pretty cheap. I think I paid about 30-40 bucks for it. I'll actually drop a link below in the description. If you want to go down there and pick one up, just click the Amazon link, add it to your cart, and you'll be good to go. I made it easy for you. So if you need something to hang your waders on, be sure and click the link below in the description and pick yourself one up. Number 3, and this is one that gets looked over by a lot of people. I talk to lots and lots of waterfowlers throughout the season, all through the off season. We're constantly talking about this and talking about that. And one thing I have picked up from a lot of people is that nobody does this. I know I do it, but a lot of my friends and people I know that hunt, they don't do it. They don't fool with it. Duck season's over. All your motion decoys, your mojos, maybe your mojo ripplers, your spinning wing decoys, maybe your Higdon pulsators, things like that, they just get tucked away in a bag or whatever you keep them in, and they sit there until the next duck season. Guys, get those things out. Get the batteries out of those decoys. They've been wet all season. They've been exposed to all the elements. It doesn't take very much for moisture to set up in there and rust all those little components where the batteries make contact, all the little contact points. Get those batteries out of there before rust sets up, maybe some corrosion, and that's just going to destroy your decoy and cause you to have to buy another one and spend another $100+ on a decoy that was perfectly fine had you just taken care of it properly. So get those batteries out of there. Locate your wings, anything that goes with it. Get that stuff taken apart, let it dry out, and keep it stored that way during the entire off season so you don't have to worry about rust and corrosion setting up on all those electrical parts. Put it back in its storage place and keep it there in a safe place until this upcoming season. That way everything's together, Everything is free from rust and corrosion and moisture, and it'll be ready to go this upcoming season when you're ready for it again. Tip number 4, unpack your blind bag. I hear from so many waterfowlers when season comes back in, they grab their blind bag and they go out to the marsh for opening day, or maybe they're looking through their bag the night before opening day, and they've left a box of shotgun shells in there. Their duck calls has been in there since last year. They open that box of shotgun shells and they've got rust, contact rust all over the brass, and those shells are no good. Guys, when season's over, get that stuff out of your blind bag. Get those shells out, put them back in your gun safe, in your gun cabinet, wherever you keep those things at. But before you put them up, make sure that they're not wet. Make sure the box is not wet. There's no moisture in there so that those shells don't get ruined during storage during the off season. Get those shells out of there. Get those calls out of there. Clean them up. Wash them up. They may have dirt, mud, trash, who knows. I mean, calls take a beating, especially in a bag. So check those things out. Put them where they need to be. Flashlights, anything you use, your headlamp, anything that's in your blind bag. Get that stuff out of there. Put it in a safe place. Get it out of that bag. Clean it up. Get the batteries out of your headlamps, or if it's a rechargeable headlamp, unplug it. Get it ready. Keep it safe, and it'll be ready for you this upcoming season. Instead of getting out there, opening a day on the marsh, putting on your headlamp, and nothing happens. Or getting out there and getting ready to load your gun, all your decoys are set, you load your gun, you grab your shells, and you got rust all over your brass. Don't be that guy, guys. Take care of your stuff, unpack that blind bag, and that way, the night before opening day, you can repack it and you make sure you've got everything you want in there and everything is in good operating condition and ready to go for the next morning's hunt. And the fifth and final tip, tip number 5, is the rest of your gear storage. Now, I'm talking about your decoys, maybe your decoy bags, your hunting coats, all of that type of stuff. Your gloves, neck gaiters, face masks, whatever you use. Put that stuff up, guys. It's probably thrown in a closet somewhere right now, possibly maybe in your garage, man cave, whatever you may have where you keep your stuff, your hunting equipment. Guys, get that stuff out, get it washed, whatever you need to do with it, get it cleaned up, and get it hung up, put up in a place that you know where it is. If it's your decoys, if they're still thrown in your garage or in your shed or wherever you keep your decoys out, get those things out, get a water hose, spray them off, get the mud and stuff off of them. Check out your rigging, see if it's ready to go, and put those things back on the carabiner and hang them up somewhere. And keep those decoys inside somewhere, in a shed, in a garage, a man cave, storage closet, wherever you keep those things. Keep them out of the elements. Keep them away from the sun. The sun's just going to fade and bleach out the paint. Going to make them look bad. You're going to have to be buying new decoys soon because they just look terrible. They're faded and they done got that matte colored look on them, kind of a foggy look. Nobody wants that, guys. Take care of your decoys, wash them up, inspect your rigging, put them back on the carabiner, and hang them up somewhere in your garage, in your shed. If the only place you have to hang them is outside somewhere where they're exposed to sunlight, go buy you a big box of those 35 or 50 gallon black garbage bags. Put them over in there in that, and then cinch it tight around the decoys and then hang them up. That way the sunlight is on the bag instead of on the paint on the decoy. It's just a little tip you can use to help save the paint or maybe the flocking, whatever you have in your decoys, to help them last longer, make them look better for this upcoming season. Same goes for your coats, your jackets, your neck gaiters, your gloves, whatever it may be that you use. Locate that stuff. Get it washed, get it cleaned up, get it stored, put somewhere where you know where it's at. It's in a safe place where it's not going to get accidentally, thrown in a corner somewhere and a bunch of stuff piled on top of it, and then here comes opening day and you got to go dig and hunt for everything and you can't find it the night before, so you got to run to Walmart or somewhere or your local sporting goods store and pick up a new neck gaiter or a new pair of gloves, when if you'd have just put everything where you should have at the end of season, you would have already had it. So that's just a few things to think about, and I think that's the top 5 things that every waterfowler needs to do right now this off season. Season has been gone now for a couple of months for most of us, so it's not too late to get this stuff on your mind and get it done before we get into the heat of the summer, and then everybody's going on family vacation, kids is out of school, and no one's thinking about your duck hunting gear and equipment. So now's the time to get that stuff out, get it taken care of, cleaned up, and stored properly. And that's all I got for you this week, guys. So until next time, y'all bust them up.